Welcome back to the Wood Factory. Last week we left you guys. We're here back in my shed, which is probably a bit more relatable to everyone at home, seeing as we're not in a massive shed with lots of tools. We're using the bare minimum here. Today we are aiming to have most of the interior back inside the car. There's heaps of work to do. I've got Alan here helping me out, which is a huge bonus, so come on in and I'll show you what we're up to. I've made myself pretty familiar with the inside of this car already. I've spent countless hours inside here doing little bits and bobs. First things first, on today's episode, I want to get the headlining. The aim of this episode is to get the interior back together, so we want to get the headlining in. Alan and I have already spent a good solid hour removing the factory plush lay, I think you might call that stuff, first. And now we're going to be installing some car builder's insulator. So this stuff here is like a acoustic foam to go on there. This is going to go on the roof. This is basically to stop that tinning noise, or like if it's raining on the roof or something, even just the wind moving it around. So
especially prevalent in a station wagon with
hugely.
As they say, a long roof.
I think this would also go long roof. Hell yeah. This would also go on places like maybe the sides of guards, like the rear quarter guards, I suppose you'd put it on some vehicles. I'm going to put this on the roof. I've just cut it out to suit, and I'm using some spray adhesive on there just in case. But we've also got these, what would you call these, Alan? Roof supports, which
I think they're the things that are meant to stop it from booming.
Yeah, these weren't actually glued on anyway, so I've just covered it with some paint where there was glue that's now not there. So get this on, and then we can put the headlining in. I don't know how this is going to roll out. We could be here. I'm aiming to have this done in a week, and I don't like our chances, but we'll see how we go.
You can't see that join. Oh, my back.
I can't.
This is hella not comfortable.
Maybe you got to pull that.
That's good there, yeah. It's probably that roller that we can use. As you can see, we did it pretty precise with the cutting, but
So you've played a game of Scissor Me Timbers before?
you ain't got shit. That is pretty crooked.
Woody somehow wrote me into helping him with the ibis, or what is now the beautiful swan. He promised me lollies and lemon squash, and somehow I ended up here. We started off fitting the headlining up into the interior here. It's kind of like the first thing that goes in. It's surprisingly, it's an old school headliner that's sort of cloth with like metal bows, which is a bit fiddly to refit, but it came out okay. It's got like a lot of trim and stuff that covers up the real nasty bits, so that we were lucky with that.
Those trims are buggered anyway.
Oh, okay. It's got buggered trims that cover up the buggered nasty bits. Old car life. We're now moved on to fitting the sound deadening. So we put sound deadening inside the roof liner here, which is like an acoustic liner or something. This stuff here that's just called sound deadening. It's just like guitar adhesive with foil over the top of it. We're laying that down all on the floor. We're actually going to cover over all the original bits that have been deadened, because they're probably the bits that actually need it.
It's worth noting, as you said before, this is probably the last vehicle that needs it, as it's got like...
It's so well insulated to begin with. This was a luxury car in Japan at the time. It would have been quite a high level vehicle. So it's got like false floors with insulation in between the actual floor and the false floor, and all sorts of stuff. It's really well done, but we're going to go over it again, so Woody will have the quietest Toyota Crown in the land.
only GS one. There's only one other I know of, actually, so...
They're probably all other ones at
Can I claim that I've got the... Yeah.
Fastest? You've got the fastest GS. Quietest GS130. This stuff's pretty cool. It's actually really easy to work with, because it's super malleable. Word for the day. So you basically just do a cut here and there and make the basic shape, and then you can sort of like bang it into place with your hands, or you can use this roller if you've got girly hands. But yeah, it goes in really well. So we're just going to coat everything, and it'll be very quiet.
Are you going to go up in the corners along the
Here?
steel panel? Yeah.
Yeah, but just start doing the easy bits first.
Oh, so you just literally just laid it down like that?
Well, it went across like that, no worries. Yeah.
That's it for all the sound deadener. We've put stuff in the doors, all the floor, the back seat cavity, everything's been done. Alan's mounted in the rear air conditioning, and now we're moving on to the stereos. This is the kind of thing where I want this to be done properly, and Alan hates stereo stuff. I like having a good quality stereo system in the car. So I've already fitted up some speakers. Popped into Supercheap Auto. These are 4-inch speakers all around. The way these mounted were a bit weird, so I had to get a bit custom. I've got 2 in the roof, also at the back. I've then recycled the subwoofer and amplifier from my MR2, which we removed because Alan said that he hates them. This is where a stock amplifier was. That actually fits there quite well, and I'm mounting the sub under the seat. So I popped into Supercheap Auto and picked up some stereo goodies. So doubled in Sony head unit, which is getting with the times now. So this old Panasonic, which one has a remote and also a removable face so that no one can steal your stereo. Someone would have paid top dollar for this thing, and it still does work. I don't have a stash of CDs anymore. Alan's got a couple of Red Hot Chili Peppers and Rage Against the Machine CDs from back in the day, but this is now going in the bin, and I'm wiring in this thing because it's getting with the times. It's got CarPlay. The fine for using your phone in Queensland now is $1,000 if you get caught, so having CarPlay so that you don't have to touch your phone and risk that $1,000 fine is definitely a plus. I've routed all the wiring down in through the standard channels, so the power's going down through where all the stock wiring does, and the amp wiring is coming down this side of the car. That is to separate the signal from the power, because that will cause interference with the stereo. You get that buzz kind of high-pitched whine. I'm not a stereo guy. I just like doing neat stuff, I suppose. So this is what we're up to. Now I've got to mount the doubled in the head unit into the faceplate here, and then carpet back in, hopefully.
Well, he's got all the head unit and everything in there, and we thought he had it wired up all right, but it turns out that this car had an amplifier under the rear seat, so an 80s amplifier, so you can imagine what sort of mess that would have been. And it's also got 6 speakers, and we need to wire the rear 4 in series, so just off a single channel so it doesn't overload the channel. But nothing makes sense, and we've got no diagrams or anything like that. We thought we had it worked out, but then it's just like there's just like stuff missing, and it's just stupid. So this is why I hate stereos. I could have wired a Nexus into this car by now. It's just such a massive waste of time. It really annoys me.
Why don't you want to use my multimeter?
Your multimeter it's a voltmeter for a start. That's about it. So yeah, it's useless. We've got very few tools here, so it's kind of like, oh no, we can't, we haven't got that, so it's kind of difficult. But so we're going to move on to fitting up some exterior stuff. We've got headlights and bumper bars and everything to go on. You'll notice that we've got 3 right-hand headlights, which is probably more than we need. This one is the original one that got durability tested by Woody, and he's 4 thumbs on one hand. This one he bought from a wrecker, which is out of an Australian sort of version of this, that looks exactly the same but isn't exactly the same at all. It's different. And that one we got from Luke, the Stit, it's at Summernats. He used to own a UZS 131, I think, or does he still own it?
I don't know.
Which is the V8 version.
He had it. He had it listed right here.
He's like a Crown guy, so he just has Crown parts randomly. So we only had that one, so we picked that up when we were down there at Summernats from him. So cheers, Luke. I think the other one's not broken.
No, it's fine, yeah.
You haven't broken it yet. Right?
No, don't say that.
Yeah, okay. So let's fit up all the bumper bars and stuff like that. They take up heaps of room, so we'll get them on the car, get them out of the way so we don't trip over them and break the other headlight.
Yeah, but look at the mad gap there, though. Maybe am I missing a trim for there, maybe?
I'll have to talk to the guy that pulled the car apart.
Yes, I am. 1 second, sir. Yeah. Go. Take those headlights back off to fit these.
Take everything back off you, man.
I don't think that. I think these go just above it like that. But yeah, take the bar back off.
This is set up.
Just I double tapped the fast forward button over the weekend and made a heap of progress. The car's looking way more complete now. First things first, I got the suspension and stuff back in and got it rolling so we can move it in and out just in case we need to. The windows are back from tint. Probably a pro tip with that is get them tinted when they're all back in the car, because if you're a derp-tard like me, you end up scratching them, which is what I've done, and I'm really annoyed about that, but oh well. The interior's made a massive progress too, so I've got all the carpet and everything back inside. Can't really make any more progress with it just yet because I can't put the windows in because they bolt in from here, so these need to stay loose. I've glued up all the B-pillar trim, so these are all broken and cracked and buggered, so I've got the old JB weld out, and I've actually used this foil tape from the car builder stuff. This stuff came in handy. You're meant to use this for like joins to kind of go over this stuff, which I didn't. I probably should have if I followed the instructions correctly, but I ended up using it on the trims, which worked really well, so stoked I could actually make use of that stuff. The stereo I've got sorted now, so I had to pop into Supercheap Auto and get a multimeter. This thing's a great little multimeter, bang for buck. Also, while I was there, I did get a reverse camera, so you can use a reverse camera with this head unit. So I've mounted that up the top in the number plate area. That's where that's sitting. That was a pain to wire with an RCA cable, but that comes down to the amplifier, and I'm doing a sneaky, instead of running an RCA all the way to the head unit, I've just used, this is only for the sub, so I've got one channel for the sub, and then this is the other one that's just going to join to the reverse camera. We couldn't get this stereo done because, well, I couldn't figure out what was going on here. So there was a standard amplifier here, as Al mentioned. It was wired really weird previously with this other head unit. We have to wire these rear speakers as 6 speakers, so the 2 rears have to get wired in series, and I couldn't really figure out what was going on here. So shout out to Matt James. If you're watching this, dude, you're a legend. Thanks so much. You're a massive help. He sent me a wiring diagram so I could figure it out, and then using the multimeter, I just figured out what wires were what, and I've got that now sorted. So the stereo's in there. Really stoked on these little 4-inch speakers. Bang for buck. They work really well, and also just recycling my sub and stuff. It's only a small sub. I will be honest, after I put the carpet in, it has raised it up, so that might not fit onto the seat, and then the sub may end up going in behind the trim over here just yet. I'm not too sure. But everything's going to plan. The carpet, I gave a massive gurney and cleaned that out before I installed it, so that was absolute filth. I've painted a few things here and there, and I'm slowly putting some trims back on the car. I've got a whole shelf full of trims, so there's just like, I would probably say there's like probably 50 chrome bits of trim to go on. So a heap of progress has been made. I just got to put some door skins on and stuff like that now, and we'll keep on keeping on.
Woody got stuck in over the weekend and got a bit more stuff done. This carpet and a few other bits and pieces in here that weren't there before. Now we're sort of just continuing on with putting it back together. We're up to door cards. So this is probably something that most people have pulled apart before if you've tried to fit a stereo or change speakers or whatever. What we're doing is putting door restore kit in, which is basically just this... what do you call this? Tar? They call it tape, but it's actually like a...
The butyl tape? Is it like
it's a bead of tar or butyl. I don't know. What's butyl?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Where did I get that word from?
It's this stuff that you stick this plastic onto.
Yeah.
So you'd know, every time you pull your car apart and pull out your speaker or whatever, this thing gets ripped in half, and most people just go, I don't even know what that's for, and chuck it in the bin. But it's actually there to keep out moisture out of your door linings and stuff like that, and sort of separate the outside of the door skin, which does have water pass through it, to stop it from getting into the cavity, so you won't get mold or whatever. So the door restore kit is basically just replacement plastic stuff. It's not rocket science. It's pretty easy for anyone to do, Woody just made me watch a video of it, and I went, oh, okay, that's not that hard, I'll do that. Otherwise I probably would have went and had a nap or something. So I'm on the last door, I'm just about finished. I've just got to cut a few little slots and pieces in it so the door handles work and trim it off, and then we can clean up the door cards and put them back on and work our way towards trying to get it out of this tiny little mould cave and back into a shed where you can actually move. That's the plan. There's something wrong with your limited slip diff. Only one wheel spun.
It's coming. Oh. It moves, Alan.
It always moves.
How good's the sunroof though?
Shut it.
I spent like...
Can you just shut it and never open it again so it doesn't leak?
And the curtains?
Oh, you can get jiggy with it without anyone looking through your sunroof.
They're a bit ancient spec, they're not automatic. Yeah, can you give me a hand with this seat?
What seat?
That one.
Safe work procedures, bro.
What's that?
Get someone else to do it. And that's you.
What, bust my back?
Yeah. Your back's much.
Hang on, I'm gonna have to do this the other way. So that I don't scratch. This is the worst thing about fitting seats is you hit this A pillar and scratch it.
A pillar, B pillar, sill, door,
Roof.
you name it.
Look at the genuine pre-delivery plastic that's still on the seats.
That guy that did the pre-delivery is probably like 85 now. Scratch.
I don't think you understand how heavy this is.
I can tell by your grunting.
Oh! No!
Just watch out you don't scratch anything.
Dude.
Follow me for more tips and tricks.
I'm gonna need your hand. I want you to. I'm scared that I'm gonna scratch it. I'm just worried about the front here.
So lay it back. Straight up and lay it back.
But it's electric, so you can't lay it back.
No, true that.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Electric, very nice. If you don't have a vise and or a wire wheel, I mean, I've got the old GMC here, the old belt sander works all right. But if you need to clean some stuff up and you got a mate handy, let's just put this here.
Where's your mate?
That's you.
Oh,
Sweet, done. Perfect, look at that. Dunskies. We've got one side in now. Look, kind of looks pretty messy. There's fingerprints and stuff everywhere and also black sealant everywhere. Sorry, Andy, you're probably going to be very upset about that. The hardest thing about this is all these clips and everything, half of them are broken, so you can't... These ones are actually meant to go here, but it's hard to reuse them because half of them are broken, so we're kind of using what we've got. We've just put some sealant on the windscreen now. Windscreen, quarter window. And we are ready to install, which I'm upside down. Damn it, can you grab that?
You've got to put that.
Yeah, we've got to put that through. So, if we go into here, and then we feed this, feed in Mungo, hang on, I'll fish it out later. So you go down now. We've also got a heap of silicone on this one too, because wait, before that goes on, now let's put some of these clips on. 3, 4, hang on now, as I said, oh, sorry. That sounded like it broke.
Sounded like it clipped in like a boss to me.
And then you end up with tacky hands for you to put it all over your clothes. Here's one of the last pieces to the puzzle of interior, which, like everything else, is very easy.
I would love to believe that is true, but I don't think it is.
What, the last piece of the
There'll
puzzle?
be another 38,000 frickin' things that need to be bolted on somewhere else.
One of the major things anyway, before we can crack a lemon squash in celebration of the interior being back together. Look at all that glue there, Alan. Oh, I've got to put the C-pillar trims back on too.
What was I saying?
See how you fit. Don't scratch. Boy, you don't put too much weight on that thing. Oh. Well, are you comfy or not?
It's not as bad as it looks, actually. Except for you.
Get him, dog. Kill him.
Look, imagine walking past, looking down your driveway.
Should we film the outro then?
Probably. I'm kind of sick of working on your car at your house.
I'm sick of you. I'm sick of working on your car at your house.
At least I've got a shed with tools in it. Shitty Rig 5000 over here, under construction.
My plank of wood.
It's not even a plank, it's like a rotted bit of wood out of the garden. What else you got there? Bit of gaff.
This green tape's sure gonna hold that camera if it wants to fall. The best thing about it is it's on pebblecrete, which is the grippiest surface known to human beings.
You're talking about that same driveway that you've fallen down and
Yeah.
multiple other people have? I don't think it is the grippiest surface.
You know, if I zoom in, I can see your ball sack.
You can see that from orbit, bros.
The aim for today's episode was to get the interior reassembled, and we have successfully.
Not just the interior, what about all the other crap?
Plus everything else, there's still so much work to doing. My favourite addition to the car though has to be, actually can I just make a note of, not too sure how it sounds on the microphone, but the acoustics inside here is very good. I might have to do my voiceovers in here from now on.
Maybe it was designed by Yamaha.
My favourite addition to this car is one, the dicky seats in the back, so rear facing dicky seats, and also the fridge, which is also in the back. This runs off your aircon, like your Saharas and Land Cruisers, so cheers. Great success with the car. This was the kind of backup plan for when we didn't have content, because Alan's Crown is waiting on parts and someone mounted a steering rack in the way of the starter motor and has to be readdressed.
I think I'm on my third steering rack.
So now we're going to move on to, what is next week? I don't know yet.
Not sure.
Hopefully back on Al's Crown next week. There's still a heap of work to get done on the car. There's approximately 380 chrome trims to still be put on the exterior of the vehicle, which all of them have 1,000 plastic clips on them, and
Not anymore.
990 of the clips are broken, so they're all going to get glued on. Engine-wise, kind of like powertrain-wise, this is going to be a bit... I'm not too sure what I want to do with it yet. It's a cruiser car. Want to keep it a cruiser.
I know what I want to do with it, but...
I started a poll on YouTube, actually. There's some good responses. The 2GR hybrid thing was a total joke. That'd be way too hard. Unless someone's an expert in doing that, be our guest, give us a call, let's do it. But
we'll drop it off at your house.
I don't want to tackle that kind of conversion. Maybe Barra and Turbo 400 swap, which was actually the original plan for this car, which is why I've got a Barra and a Turbo 400 5 years ago. This is what I was going to do. So that's an option. And or, Alan mentioned turbocharge the
1GGZTE.
1GGZ. There goes the GoPro C, mate. So that could be an option. Not too sure just yet. So stay tuned with us. If you like Crown wagons, we've got more Crown action. This is the Crown factory recently. Al bought a Crown.
I've got another Crown as well.
Al bought another Crown too. So thanks for watching. I love this car so much. It's been a long time coming, and I'm stoked. What was the word I was using?
Schmicko.
This is schmicko. I'm stoked at how schmicko the Crown is looking. I actually re-edited that video and cut out the word stoked because Alan said you said stoked too many times.
And schmicko.
And whatever.
And
thanks for watching. Cheers, Alan. Also, thanks to Car Builders for hooking us up with some sound deadening stuff. This thing is going to be an awesome cruiser.
it's going to be the quietest GS 130 1987 model Crown in your street.
It is. Thanks for watching, homies. See you next time. Cheers.
Just need some leg
I definitely
space.
couldn't sit like this. Do you know what? See the headrests? Do you know what they're from?
What?
Cresta, y'all.
Really?
That seatbelt's from a Cresta. These are from a Cresta.
It's slightly different. Now that you mention it.
And they do the whole thingamajigger where you push them forward and backward. Yeah, it'd be comfortable if you were...
If you're 4.
Like if you're by yourself, yeah, but there's also durry things there, so you're not going to be a 4-year-old sitting in the
I
back.
don't know what they did in Japan when they were...
There's a
in
durry-
1987, you might have been able to smoke durries when you were 4.
Maybe we could do a live feed in the back here one day. Everyone likes a little bit of wildlife. This is my pet possum that lives under my deck. Looks like he's about to jump on me. Stop it! Ah, you cock! So here's one of the last pieces to the backwards. Whoops.
Still recording, Russ.
Day, have a great time.